I've been asked to find the equation and some of the basic attributes of this exponential function. So what I need to do is to start off and get some of my basic information. And to write an equation, my equation for an exponential function is y equals a times b raised to the power of x. And my a value, that's my y-intercept. And my b value is my multiplier or my factor. So to write my equation, I need to know what my y-intercept is and what I'm multiplying by every time. So I can see that my y-intercept is at 2. So I've got 0, 2 is my y-intercept. And if I draw a quick table here and just put 0, 2, and this other point that I can see, which is 1, 1, it'll help me to find my factor. And the way, or the easiest way I have found to find my factor, is to just divide. Divide my second term by my first term. So if I do 1 divided by 2, that tells me my factor is 1/2. And so this is what my table is following. So my factor is 1/2, and that's my b value. So if I wanted to write my equation, I would just say y equals, my a is 2, my b is 1/2, and I raise it to the power of x. And then the other thing that it's asking me for is my rate. And my rate is always my absolute value of b minus 1. So the absolute value of b minus 1, in this case, my b is 1/2 minus 1. So 1/2 minus 1 is a negative half, but I'm taking the absolute value, so I can see that my rate is going to be a positive 1/2, which is the same as 50% or 0.5. So that's what my rate is. And then for my domain. Domain is always the same in exponential functions. It's all real numbers. Even though my graph doesn't show the arrows on the ends, it continues forever. So my domain is all real numbers. And my range is either going to be greater than 0 or less than 0. In this case, I can see, here's my 0, that my graph is all above it. So my range is y is greater than 0. And I know it's not equal to 0 because y equals 0 is my asymptote. My graph is never going to touch this boundary, this asymptote. It's going to get closer and closer, but it'll never touch. And then reading our graph from left to right, we can see that it's going down or it's decreasing.